Okay, ToQ Collector coming back to you here with a video review on the Ressha that we've received so far in ToQGer. Now, this does not include the special edition red Reshas that we've seen in the Gashapon, or the one that was given out for the lottery quiz after the show. I'll do a video on those when I actually get those. But so far, those are the only two Ressha that I don't have here that have been released. Obviously, there's going to be way more, but let's start with what we got here. Okay, so we have the deluxe red Ressha here. We'll put his ToQ penis down for a moment. All right, good rolling, decent plastic, decent paintwork here. You can see there's a bit of detail here. Not overdone, you know, what it is. Has a little orange dot here, orange yellow dot for the light on the front there, two red dots there. So pretty good paint detail. It has the standard red Ressha pattern on the bottom, which just says, you know, ToQ Ichigo when you put it into the changer. What this has that none of the others have so far is that it actually does this little folding thing here so that it can transform with the rest of the DX mecha. The folding plus this little clip is basically all you need for that to happen. So it's kind of disappointing that so far none of the others have that. It seems like it's such a simple thing to add in. You know, so far the only one that can actually transform is the one that came with the DX mecha, which is a little disappointing, especially when some of them have nice little pearlescent paints and everything. So let's put him back on so he doesn't lose his manhood and feel a little sad. All right, we'll leave him there since he's all together. Let's start with this guy here. Now, all of these guys I put labels on because it got a little hard to tell them all apart. This is the one from the premiere recital event. It's basically an event that happened before the show, where they introduced the new Rangers and all that fun stuff. And everyone who attended got a promo card and one of these guys. So, as discussed, does not fold. Doesn't have the clip, so it can't transform, but it will work in the Ressha. And this one of all of them here is the only one that actually says something different in the Ressha. You can see the pattern here is a bit different than the pattern that we have here. You've got like one little dot and then two of these guys here where there's like three across here and then three there. This is the pattern for the standard thing. This one says something about ToQGer is departing at 7:30 a.m. or something along those lines. I don't know Japanese. I'm sorry. This one says that. This is the standard one. But other than that, pretty similar to the DX one. They both have similar wheels. They both roll similarly. You know, there's not much there. There's some paint detail, of course. You can see that's black, but that's red plastic. Paint detail on the side, pretty similar. No big difference there. Paint detail on the front is where you start to see the differences. The color hue here is a bit different. You can see that. And then it doesn't have the little gold, orange, yellowish dot there for the headlight, nor does it have the two red dots there. So there's a bit of paint detail missing on this one compared to the DX Ressha. But other than that, it's pretty similar. This one has more of a gray paint here. This has more of like a silverish finish to it. But the wheels, like I said, are pretty similar, and that's about that. Let's move on to this guy here, which came with the actual changer. The ToQ Changer actually came with the red Ressha so that you could transform. Again, pretty similar. No real difference between these guys other than what we discussed. The bending, clip on top so it can't transform here. And also, I just realized that another thing you would need is a hole here for that little thing to pop on to form the super phallus. So that's another thing that these guys don't have that would be required to make this compatible with the DX mecha. Right? Once again, this also lacks the dot there, two red dots there, like the DX has. Okay. Paint on the side, pretty similar. This is flat gray, like the DX, versus the shiny, like the one from the premiere event. Overall, the premiere event one is more shiny in general. If you can really take a look closely, you can kind of see there's like a pearlescent kind of quality to the plastic, so that could explain why that one has like that sort of silverish shiny paint too, whereas the rest of the guys have a more flat colored paint. Okay, so again, this one, just like the others, except for the premiere event one, says the standard thing in the changer. Obviously, it came with the changer, so there's no change there. And aside from the paint and the non-transforming, there you have it. Move on to this guy here. Oh yeah, right. Let's look at the rolling quality of this. Pretty similar. Come to the bottom here. Wheel setup is pretty similar. Nothing really changed there. Okay, move on to this one. Again here with the paint details missing. Paint details missing on the front there. The side again is more of a flat gray. Doesn't have the hole in the back like we discussed. Doesn't fold. Doesn't have the clip there, so it will be a changer only thing. This one came in a magazine in Japan. Japanese people get such cool stuff in their magazines. I mean, no matter what, just all these cool things always come in magazines over there. We're barely, lucky to get anything in ours, a trading card. But anyway, so this one came in a magazine. There's nothing too special about it. The paint is pretty normal. In fact, it's pretty close, in my opinion, to what came with the changer. I mean, the paint colors are pretty similar. There's not too much different there. The main thing that makes this different from all the others that I've noticed so far is this. There's no white stripe along there. I don't know if they did that to save money because it was just an insert or to tell it apart or what, but notice all these other guys have that little white stripe along the side. And this little guy is left out. But again, wheels on the bottom are the same, pretty much same rolling quality. So they're pretty much all on par. Again, the recap so far, this guy can transform. This guy says something different. These guys are pretty much the same except for minor paint differences. Right, now let's get to the one that I just got yesterday, the SG Ressha. This one was kind of exciting to me a little bit when I first got it because I was like, check this out. Just like the DX one, it has the paint details on the front. They went the extra mile there. On the side, it's got the white paint, Doesn't have the opening in the back. Doesn't fold, like I said, But for the most part, it seemed like they put the extra effort into it. Especially when you look at here, it's got this random black window up here that even the DX doesn't have. None of these other guys have it. But this one here just seems to have this little black window up here. It's a nice touch, even if it does stand out a little bit, especially because it's not available on the other ones. Again, doesn't transform. No clips there, doesn't fold, there's no opening back there. This is black here, whereas most of the other ones are black. This one is red. This one says the same thing in the changer as the other ones, aside from the premiere event ones. And other than that, that's pretty much it. The paint's, pretty normal. There's no pearlescent effects there. The one thing I did notice about this, though, and even though it looks normal, when you look under the bottom here, the wheels just seem cheaper in this guy. For some reason, the wheels, I know it's a little candy toy, but the wheels, they just don't roll right to me. There's something about them. The way they I don't know, they stick a little, or maybe I just got a bad one. Don't know, but if it wasn't for the wheel thing, this one would be my favorite, behind, we'll ignore this one because that one obviously transformed. But behind the premiere one, which says something different, has a pearlescent paint, this one seems to be the most detailed, the nicer one. Just, I don't know if you can even hear that. Just the wheels seem a little jankier. I don't know. They don't always roll. This rolls. That doesn't really. Something about it. But good paint detail. Paint detail there, paint detail there. Feels pretty good in the hand too. It doesn't feel as heavy as the other guys, but it is a candy toy. And that pretty much covers it. I kind of like the way they did the Ressha for the SG series, and for the price, they're pretty worth it. And that's about it. I think all of these are pretty cool in their own way. I can't wait to get the other ones. We have the one from the lottery giveaway after the show. There will also be the ones for the actual lottery that came in little chocolate bars. Let's see if I can get my hands on one of those. Those are probably going to be pretty hard to get a hold of. And then there's also, which other one am I missing? The Gashapon ones. There's a metallic version of that and a normal red version of that as well. I imagine the metallic version is probably going to look pretty close to this. So trying to get my hands on that. As I'm sitting here, I also noticed that some black paint here, just like it is on the DX. The other ones don't have it. So far, again, aside from the wheel issue, this is one of my favorites because it has more detail on it than the others. In fact, when I paint my mini plow, I'm probably going to use this as the guide for what things should look like. You know, add the little extra detail there and everything else that's on the sides and that's missing from these other guys. Maybe we'll use some pearlescent paint, who knows. But that's about it. ToQ Collector wrapping up here. I'll do some videos of some other things soon. Thanks.